Hi everyone. So in this video I'm going to share the Open Gate Quilt project from October. This cute wall hanging was the first project that we got in that box and I just could not wait to put it together. So I'm going to share the tutorial for this video. I'm not going to share any measurements because the pattern is exclusive for this box, but you can go ahead and watch along even if you don't have the project and just get some ideas and look at the gorgeous fabric. So let's get started. Okay, I'm going to work completely through block number 1. This is for the Open Gate Quilt subscription box. This is the Midnight in Paris wall hanging. I'm going to work through the whole quilt, but I'm going to work through all the steps of block number 1 because all of the other blocks are made in the same manner. So once you see this first block being made, I think you'll be able to make the rest of the blocks for this quilt. In block number 1 for Midnight in Paris, you'll need 2 green squares. You'll need 4 small rectangles. You'll need 8 of the medium rectangles, and then 4 of the larger rectangles, and then 16 of the black squares. I'm not giving measurements because this pattern is exclusive for the subscription box. So to get started, we're going to first sew the 4 small rectangles onto the sides of each respective square. Then I'm going to press those and add on the next rectangles. All right, so I have the borders on my green squares, and now it's time to put on the black squares. So if you need to, you can mark a line corner to corner, but essentially we're going to be sewing directly corner to corner, and we're going to do that on all 4 corners. However, I'm going to do opposite corners first, sew corner to corner, trim a 1/4 inch from that sewn line, and press them open before I put on the next ones. So I'm going to use the diagonal seam tape on my sewing machine, but if you do not use diagonal seam tape, you'll want to draw corner to corner and then sew directly on that line. And I'm going to do 4 of these first, so 2 on each square, trim, press them, and then put on the final 2 on each corner. All right, so I'm going to trim 1/4 inch from my stitched line. I'm going to trim both of these. All right, and then I'm going to press them. So I'm going to add a little bit of heat and gently press them open. Never made these blocks this way, but I really am loving this new technique. All right, so then I'm going to do the same thing, get 4 more of these squares and sew corner to corner again. Then I will trim them and press them just as before. All right, so here's our 2 blocks so far, and now we're going to border them again. So we have 2 of them. We're going to sew those medium size strips to both sides just as before, and then 2 on the top of the longer ones and 2 on the bottom. And after we get these all sewn on and pressed, we'll be doing the corners in the same manner again with the rest of the black squares. Okay, so here is the finished block. So this is black number 1 block, and there are 2 of them. So those are completed, and all of the rest of these are going to be completed the same way, just with different colors of fabric. So I'm going to go through these. So this is the fabric that you would need to make the black number 2 block. So this was black number 1, this would be black number 2, and we're going to be making 2 of them. So I have 2 of the center blocks, then the sashing around it, then the corner squares, and then the second sashing, and then the corner squares again. So you can see those are all black fabric around there. And then this is the black number 3 block, and we're only making 1. So this is actually going to be the center of the quilt. So one of these, so it has a lighter border around it. Now this is the green number 1 block, and we're making 2 of those. So you can see those corner squares are the green fabric on here. And then this is the green number 2 block, and we're making 2 of these. So you can see all the fabrics here, and hopefully that will kind of help you with your layout. And I'm making all of these blocks the exact same way that I made the first 2. So I'm going to start with that center square, put the shorter side sashing on, press them, the outer 2, then these will go in the corner, so corner to corner, trim and press, add the borders on again, press them, and the corners again. It's very, very simple. Just remembering all those steps and keeping all your fabric organized is very important. That's why I love having these design boards to keep all the fabrics organized on them. I make these super simple. I will put a link to the video where I showed how to make these. They come together so quick, and they're really nice to have on hand. So I'm going to finish up the rest of these blocks, and I'll show you how to bring the rest of the quilt together. Okay, so I have all my blocks finished, and this is the pattern that I'm going to sew them together in. So the single block is here in the center. Then I have block number 1, the black block number 1 to the sides, black block number 2 to the sides, green block number 1 to the top center and bottom center, and green block number 2 is on the last 2 spots. So I'm going to sew all these together, and then I have some thin border pieces that are going to go on the top and bottom, and then on the sides. And then all those leftover squares that we cut are just going to go in a random patchwork along the side as well. So I have a variety of them that I will sew together to put along each side. It's coming up to the finish line of this quilt. I'm going to sew it all together, and then I will show you how it looks when I am finished. All right, so here is the finished wall hanging. It is such a pretty quilt. I may have to find some more of this fabric because it is just gorgeous and it goes so well together. I'm so happy with how it turned out. Let me know in the comments what you think of it and if you have already started on yours. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.